Dear inspectors, I've had a lovely day running around from you fellas. Hopefully you don't catch me tonight. That's a terrible Jack the Ripper impression, but let's be honest. He could sound like that, or he could be like, dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jack the Ripper. Or, we don't know. We don't know what he sounded like. It's one of the biggest mysteries in modern history. Who is Jack the Ripper? Probably D.B. Holmes, right? H.H. Holmes? D.B. Cooper? Whatever. Point being, the dude was a murderer, and he never was caught. And he came to America, and Scott Snyder wrote some really cool stories about him. But the point being, Whitehall Mysteries is a streamlined version of Letters from Whitechapel. Letters from Whitechapel is the very first game night I attended when I got into this hobby. Was one of the very first games I ever played, and I've always loved it. And I played it exactly one time back then. That's been years ago. Since then, yes, the new versions and stuff have come out, and Hey Governor or whatever. Those editions have come out and things like that. But what I appreciate is that this version, Whitehall Mysteries, is, first of all, it's a smaller box. It's much more about cat and mouse. You're literally just trying to find each other on the board. It's a hidden movement game. But anyway, enough of that. Let's see how it plays. We'll come back up to talk final thoughts right now. So this is Whitehall Mysteries right here. One person will play as Jack the Ripper. They will go on this track down here. The rest will play as these three investigators. This be Jasper T.C. Waring, the yellow one here, Sir Arthur Ferris, and Dr. Thomas Bond. Now they will start on these yellow highlighted spaces out here. It's 2 to 4 players, so obviously it's a 1 versus all. Now what's going to happen is you'll choose one of these numbered circles in each quadrant to be your base of operations. You're essentially going to discover, this is your discovery areas, you're going to have to get to these 4 spaces. So let's just say, for the sake of saying, now you wouldn't mark them all, but I'm going to right now, that we have picked 33, 62, 120, and then let's do 145 over here. In the course of the game, we have got to make it to these 4 spaces without being arrested by the investigators. Now, you'll start with the first one revealed, so we're going to choose 120 to start with. Now, we know as Jack, because we have a little notepad over here in which we put our 4 discovery locations up top. We write those down, kind of like I did here. Write those down up at the top, and then you play through here. This is a game that got cut off, but you're going to play through here, and this is how you move throughout the game. You then don't actually have Jack on the board. He'll be down here on this track, but you mark your markings behind this screen back here, which shows you the entire map of the game, so you don't have to constantly look out there. On your turn, you're going to choose a number to move to as Jack. So Jack will move on circles. The investigators will move on squares. You can move 1 space away unless you use one of the 3 special movements tokens here. You have a boat, you have an alley movement, and you have a coach movement. Coaches are 2 spaces. You only get 15 move actions per round to find your discovery location. The game is played over 3 rounds. The second one is an alley. This will allow you to move through a dotted area. So let's just take one of these larger ones here. So this kind of dotted area here, I could be at 164. I could spin my alley card, and then I could move all the way over to 142 if I wanted. Now the coach, I should mention, lets you move 2 spaces, and it also allows you to move through investigators. It's the only way to do that. And last but not least, boat allows you to take a boat space all the way to another boat space in that same certain water area. Then the investigators will move. They'll move 0, 1, or 2 spaces along the streets here to these square crossings. And when they land on a crossing, after everyone gets into position, yellow first, then blue, then red, to search for clues, you will point to the spaces around your investigators, starting with the yellow. You'll say 128. If they have been there this round, they'll put a clue token down, and that investigator's clue searches are over for that round, or for this turn. If they haven't, you continue. Say, okay, well, 108. Nope. Those are the only 2 adjacent to that one. Then you'll move on to the blue, then you move on to the red, getting these clues. The other option is, if you're pretty sure you know where Jack is, you can say, I'm going to arrest at 128. And if Jack is there, the game is over, the investigator wins. However, if Jack, at the end of the turn, is in the location of one of his discovery areas, remember, let's just say it's 53, and Jack is at 53, he'll say, oh, I'm at 53, I made it. the new round starts. All the clues come off the board. This stays on the board, so the investigators now know the starting point again, and then the round starts over again. Basically, Jack's trying to get to all 4 locations. The investigators are trying to arrest Jack before that. The investigators also have a special power. Essentially, yellow allows you to teleport your person, one of the other people right next to him. Blue allows you to take the boat action, and then red allows you to take an alley action. Now, there are a couple of extra little bonus rules here, like Smoke of the Dog. The yellow investigator can either move his figure by 1 additional crossing, or he can continue looking for clues in every adjacent numbered circle, even if he's already found a clue. So it gives you a chance to continue looking for clues. There are a couple things like that in there for Jack, but the main meat of the game is this right here. It's a streamlined, slimmed down version of Letters from Whitechapel. Whitehall Mysteries is much more cat and mouse. You're just trying to locate it. It's a really exciting game about trying to find Jack the Ripper. So that is how you play. Nuts and bolts right there. Okay, I'm going to say it now. I love this game. This is such a fun game because it is a great cat and mouse game that doesn't get bogged down by player count. Yes, 2 players in this game is fantastic. Yes, 3 players in this game is fantastic. 4 is fantastic. Unlike the kind of next level version of this, Fury of Dracula, playing it at 2 players is not fun because of the fights and everything, and one player has to play all 3 characters. This isn't like that. This is just, I move 3 characters, boom, are you here, 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 here? Nope, boom, next round. You're Jack, you just move and you're trying to hide, and the whole time you're trying to keep it cool when you're 1 space away from them. I love this game. It's just such a fun game. Mechanically, it's sound. I like the little miniatures in this one. I like the map. I like the screen you get. I like the fact that you write down where you're moving. I cannot say enough good things about Whitehall Mysteries. If you are looking for a good 2-player game, it doesn't have to be 2-player, but if you're looking for a great 2-player game that involves a lot of just push and pull, and man, I hope they don't find me. It's one of the best hidden movement games ever because it's so simple. Even with the 3 special movements, even with the 3 special powers and the dog. It's just special. But here's what's cool. If you have the other games, you can add the elements from that into it. So it really does reward you for being a longtime fan, but it also is a standalone game that is just almost near perfect when it comes to being just a cat and mouse game. I'm a huge fan of Whitehall Mysteries. I will keep this in the collection forever, and we will play it forever. As the kids get older, we'll play this. This, in my opinion, if it would have come out 50 years ago, would be in the same kind of level talking about as something like a Clue or as something like a Life, because it's so simple. It's so accessible, and the theme, while yes, it's dark, so is Clue, is not there. It's abstracted, right? The hidden movement thing is fantastic. Whitehall Mysteries, I love this game. You could say that about all of them, Letters from Whitechapel and everything like that, but this is better than Fury of Dracula in my opinion because it's simple, because it tones down a lot of the extra work. I love this game. I love it so much. So I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Brian. Until next time, we'll see you.